Some promoter ripped me off in Guam.
Guam, you gotta be a military.
We went to a military base. This guy had a comedy night, and everybody was going over there though.
Guam.
You give a struggling comic $500 and a plane ticket, they gonna go.
They'll go to Guam.
Yeah. Go. That's why some of these comics are like, that ain't enough. I go, motherfucker, do you know some of the places I went to for a couple $100s? I went to fucking Guam, bro. And then the guy ripped me off. He only paid me $250.
What?
Yeah.
On that 20-hour flight.
Yeah. Because the flight got turned around halfway. We're halfway to Hawaii. The layer was in Honolulu. We get turned around. We come back to LA. Now I'm got to go back to Hawaii. Then I go to Guam. So I was supposed to land the night before. I landed at like 9:30 p.m. the day of the show, and the show started at 8. So by the time I got to the venue, it's after 10. The venue turns into a nightclub. So you know how those venues are. The later it gets, the worse it is.
Right.
So
They still brought you on.
yeah, well, they brought me on because they're waiting on me. So then I get up there. I'm supposed to do an hour. I'm at 30 minutes, and I was starting to lose them. I could tell because people were coming in to go party. It's like 11 at this point. I literally looked at the promoter. I said, hey, man, you cool if I cut this short? Because everybody looks like they ready to party. He goes, hey, man, it's your show. And I was like this. Cool, you guys all ready? Let's get the party started, you know. Everybody was fine. Everybody was happy.
What year was this?
97, 98. And after this, the next day, I'm there for like 3 days in Guam now, right? I'm just going to, that was part of the deal. You could stay a couple days. And the dude goes, hey, man, you only did half the show? And I don't know. This is my first gig on the road, right? So here's half the money. He goes, so that's just how this works. And I go, oh, okay. I thought it was legit. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
My God, you know what? One of the craziest thing about me getting gypped by a promoter, I heard a lot of military promoters would gyp the shit out of people. I had a really bad experience with one. And it wasn't a really bad time in my life, too. It's like, my son, who's like 22 now, is married to his mother, who's going through a really bad breakup. I mean, it was bad. It was just like 1999. I'll never forget. It was one night between like 99, yeah. 99. So I remember going to I did Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's a military guy I did a show for. You know, he paid me some money when I got there. He said, hey, when I pick you up for the airport, the next day I'll bring you the rest of your money. I said, okay, cool. And I stayed at the hotel where the show was. The show was in a ballroom at the hotel, right? So I'm here and waiting for this guy. And mind you, at that point, I worked for the airlines. So I'm flying free. So I'm on a fucking standby shit. So I'm waiting for this promoter, hours upon hours. This guy not answering his phone. I'm like, this motherfucker is not coming. So I'm like, what the fuck? The only thing that was left in that fucking room was the fucking spotlight this guy rented for the show. Guess what the fuck happened?
You took everything out of the
fucking
room.
Spotlight. Well, I took the fucking big ass spotlight. I checked that shit on the plane to Philadelphia.
Hold on.
He rented a spotlight for the show.
Yeah.
So I took the spotlight with me. It was in the ballroom still.
Okay.
Because I stayed at the hotel where the show was.
So hold on. Let me backtrack.
Okay.
You get there. He doesn't answer the phone.
We're done the show. Show's done.
Okay.
The next day, he supposed to come and pick me up to take me to the airport and bring me the rest of my money.
Right.
He paid me half when I got there.
Okay.
And then he said, hey, Mike, when I pick you up in the morning, I'll bring you the rest of the money.
Yeah.
This guy had no intentions of coming.
Dude, we might have the same promoter. What city was this?
Fayetteville, North Carolina. Skinny dude.
No, I had something similar happen in Virginia. That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I
dirty
felt so
promoters,
good.
It's the same MO. And you did the same thing I did.
You stole the spotlight?
No. I stole shit out of the hotel. I've been ripped off
because it
twice
was
on
on his
military
card.
bases. Twice. Yeah, because the hotel's on his card. I've been ripped off twice, military bases. One, I did the show, and it was in Georgia. And the promoter put the hundreds on the outside, put ones in the middle.
What?
So my dumb ass didn't count it in front of him. I'm in the car going back to the hotel, and I was like, I'm short. So I told the driver, turn back around. He turns back around. I walk into the room. This dude, the black guy, he's bigger than me, and I'm a big dude. And he had a couple of his boys with him. So I said, yo, man, I'm a little short. Like, let's just say, I'm making it up. Let's say I'm $500 short. I'm $500 short. He goes, I don't know what to say. Maybe it was all there when I counted it. And looked at me like this. I went, and I looked at him. I looked at the 2 other dudes. I went, all right. Got back in the car. Now, I got a rental from Atlanta to drive down there. So once I got back to the hotel, I grabbed everything out that bitch. Pillows, lamps. I tried to take TV off the wall. Put it in my car. Was driving back to Atlanta. He's called me the next day. Hey, man, what the fuck? The hotel got everything's out of the room. I said, Mike, I went, I only was there when I was there. When I left. But in your case, where my story's similar, I was in Virginia. And this fucking guy, we do the show. He goes, hey, Gary, man, they only gave me 1 check. Now, I see the check with the show money, how much for the whole show, right? He goes, they were supposed to separate it. They didn't. So I got to go to the bank in the morning and separate this. And he brought the lady from the base over. It was an Australian lady.
Make you feel comfortable.
And she goes, no, we do a lot of shows with him. So legit, I go, dude, I'm not going up. I ain't got no money. And he goes, well, you know, and Lake, look, we promise. You guys are staying on the base. We're good. All right, I do the show. Wake up next morning. It's about 9, 10 o'clock. And I'm trying to call him. He ain't answering. Now, I used to be in the military. I know how this shit works. I made sure I got the Australian lady's number when he wasn't looking the night before. I called her up. I said, your man ripped me off. She goes, huh? Your man ripped me off. And she goes, what are you talking about? I go, I'm still here on the base. He ain't answering his phone. His car's gone. The hotel, the base housing or whatever they had us in, it was like a U, so you can see everybody's doors. So he must have snuck out the night before or early that morning because his car's gone. I'm sitting out here like, I'm dumbfounded he ripped me off. So the lady put a hold on the check. I said, put a hold on the check. I bet you he tries to deposit it in Richmond, Virginia today because that's where we flew into. Sure enough, about an hour later, they got a fucking, he just tried to go to the bank in Richmond, Virginia and deposit the check. That check motherfucking was canceled. Wow. She canceled the check. So long story short, I ended up getting my money from her. They said, they canceled that check. They sent me what I was supposed to get. He lost the account for the military base because he tried to rip me off. And the only thing was, the show was on Friday. I was supposed to do a show at some other bar nightclub in Richmond on Saturday with him. So he clearly didn't pick me up. So I had to call the manager at that time of the Richmond Funny Bone came and picked me up. I said, I can't remember his name. He was a cool dude. But he came past. I said, dude, I just got ripped off. And I'm here till Sunday. So they put me at the Hilton where they put all the comics for the Richmond Funny Bone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really took care of me, Richmond Funny Bone, that night, the manager. But that guy ripped me off. And then every time I'd go on the radio in Richmond, I'd bag on him.
He's still around?
He was. I don't know if he still is. I can't even remember his name. But he'd call in one time. We started arguing on the air. He was like, nah, I didn't rip him off. He goes, I had to come to Richmond for a family emergency. And then he goes, and we had to cancel the show Saturday because this motherfucker don't sell no tickets.
Oh, he's trying to shit on you.
Yeah. I was like, and then I always say this. He goes, and you better be careful because I got people out here in the streets. I go, well, I'm gonna tell him, I'm gonna make sure you. I'm gonna make sure you tell those people pay him up front because they're gonna beat my ass and not get all their money.
So when I remember when I finally got home with that spotlight, then he started calling me. He's like, man, I said, nah, just keep the money. I got the spotlight.
You still got the spotlight?
Somewhere in the fucking Philly right now, dog. At one of my old houses, I just left it there. God. I might have did something with it.
You checked it on the plane?
Checked it on the plane. Put duct tape around it. I remember when they came through the baggage claim, it was like, a nice spotlight. And I used it once at some event I had. Some house event, man. Yeah.